In this video, we will explore how Danish unions deliver tangible value to workers every single day, in ways that often extend far beyond traditional wage negotiations. Denmark is frequently cited as a benchmark for modern labor markets, and a central reason is the strength of its unions and their close integration with employers and the state. To understand the everyday benefits, it is useful to begin with the core of the Danish model: collective bargaining. Unlike in many countries, minimum wage law does not set the floor in Denmark. Instead, sector-specific collective agreements between unions and employer associations determine wages, working hours, and core conditions. For an individual employee, this means that pay levels, overtime rules, and pension contributions are not left to ad hoc negotiation with a manager, but are anchored in a professionally negotiated framework that reflects market realities, productivity levels, and cost of living. On a day-to-day basis, this reduces uncertainty, narrows pay dispersion within comparable roles, and helps ensure that workers are paid fairly relative to their skills and responsibilities. The impact is especially visible for employees who might otherwise have limited bargaining power, such as young workers, new arrivals to the labor market, or staff in lower-paid service roles. Beyond wages, Danish unions significantly shape working time, flexibility, and work-life balance. Collective agreements commonly define standard weekly hours, overtime compensation, and rules around shift work, night work, and weekend work. For a worker, this translates into predictable schedules, clear entitlements when schedules change, and compensation that reflects the inconvenience or additional burden of atypical hours. In practice, this supports a better balance between work and private life, enabling people to plan family commitments, education, or leisure activities with greater security. Equally important is the focus on health and safety. Danish unions are deeply involved in workplace environment committees, collaborating with management to identify risks, improve ergonomics, and address psychosocial stress factors. For workers, the effect is not abstract. It can mean fewer repetitive strain injuries on a factory floor thanks to better equipment, reduced burnout in knowledge-based roles through attention to workload and mental health, or improved protection against harassment and discrimination via clear policies and escalation channels. These interventions may not always be visible, but they shape the quality of daily work and contribute to lower absenteeism and higher job satisfaction. Another everyday benefit arises from access to professional support in employment-related conflicts. If a worker faces an unfair dismissal, unresolved wage claims, or a contract that contradicts the collective agreement, Danish unions provide legal advice, representation, and structured dispute resolution. Instead of navigating complex legislation and negotiations alone, employees have experts who understand the relevant agreements, precedents, and procedures. This support often resolves issues early, informally, and at no direct cost to the individual worker. Even the presence of a union representative at the workplace, known as a shop steward, acts as an early warning mechanism and a mediator, helping address challenges before they escalate. Career development and skills upgrading represent another critical dimension. Many Danish unions have established strong partnerships with employers and education providers to co-fund and co-design training programs, certifications, and continuing education. For workers, this enhances employability and mobility. They can access subsidized courses, upskilling pathways, and guidance on how to transition into new roles or sectors as technology and business models evolve. In a labor market characterized by high mobility and frequent restructuring, this focus on lifelong learning helps individuals remain attractive to employers and reduces the risk of long-term unemployment. The connection to Denmark's unemployment insurance system is also highly relevant in daily life. While the A-kasse funds are formally separate from unions, they are often closely aligned, and many workers experience them as part of an integrated support ecosystem. If someone becomes unemployed, they can rely on income support, counseling, and help in finding new opportunities. Because unions are involved in shaping active labor market policies and maintain close contacts with employers, they can help bridge the gap between displaced workers and available roles, smoothing transitions and shortening unemployment spells. For many, this safety net lowers anxiety about job changes and encourages more openness to mobility and reskilling. Danish unions also contribute to everyday stability by facilitating constructive labor relations at the company and sector level. The so-called flexicurity model, high flexibility for employers combined with strong security for employees, relies on trust and predictable mechanisms for handling disagreements. Unions play a central role in maintaining this balance. They accept that companies may need to adapt quickly, while ensuring that changes are implemented in line with agreed rules, with proper consultation and mitigation measures where jobs are affected. For employees, this means that reorganizations, mergers, or technology-driven changes are rarely implemented without dialogue, notice, and some form of negotiated support, whether in the form of retraining, internal mobility, or fair severance arrangements. An often overlooked aspect is the way unions help articulate workers' voices in broader societal debates. In Denmark, unions are influential stakeholders in discussions on taxation, social security, education, climate policy, and digitalization. While this may seem distant from daily work, the outcomes have concrete implications, from the design of pension systems and parental leave schemes to investments in public transport that shape commuting, or digital rights that affect how employee data is used. By aggregating individual concerns into a coherent voice, unions ensure that the perspective of workers is integrated into key policy decisions that frame everyday life. At the company level, this representation also supports a more inclusive corporate culture, where employee perspectives are systematically considered in strategy and change processes. Importantly, many of these benefits extend, in practice, even to workers who are not union members, because collective agreements often cover entire sectors or workplaces. This broad coverage helps raise the general standard of employment conditions across the labor market. However, the ability of unions to maintain and develop these achievements depends on being well-resourced and recognized partners. Membership fees fund negotiation capacity, legal assistance, research, and advisory services that individual workers could not secure on their own. The professionalization of union staff, economists, lawyers, organizational experts, enables sophisticated engagement with employers and policymakers, which in turn enhances the quality and realism of the solutions that are negotiated. For a Danish worker, the sum of these elements is experienced in very concrete ways. A transparent pay slip reflecting collectively agreed terms, a contract that clearly sets out working hours and overtime compensation, access to a trusted representative when issues arise, opportunities for funded training, safer, healthier working conditions, and a social safety net that responds effectively when employment situations change. Day after day, Danish unions are not simply intervening in rare, high-profile conflicts. They are continuously shaping the frameworks, norms, and practical tools that underpin modern working life. As technology, demographics, and globalization continue to transform the labor market, their role in mediating change, protecting fairness, and enabling adaptation will remain central to how workers in Denmark experience both security and opportunity in their professional lives.